Welcome and thank you for joining us. You are watching Millennium News Hour and I am Tanziba Naurin. Today we have brought up and trending news from across the nation and the world. Let's begin with the headlines. Biden campaign tells donors president can recover from subpar debate performance. Biden administration proposes a rule for workplaces to address excessive heat. Trump hush money prosecutors not opposed to delaying sentencing. Giuliani loses New York law license after backing Trump's false 2020 election claims. Hurricane Beryl reaches record winds of 165 mph as the Category 5 storm barrels toward Jamaica. Passenger thrown into overhead bin and dozens injured as turbulence hits flight off Brazilian coast. At least 19 dead in drug gang clash in Mexico. Tear gas, stones and flames as violence erupts in Kenya and protesters call for President's ouster. Coup attempt thwarted in Ukraine, security service says as Hungary's Orban arrives in Kiev for talks. Floods and landslides triggered by heavy rains kill at least 16 people in India. USA crash out of Copa America after contentious defeat to Uruguay. And Andy Murray pulls out of the men's singles draw at his last Wimbledon. You are listening to Headlines Now News in detail. President Joe Biden's re-election campaign reissued top fundraisers on Monday after his weak debate performance last Thursday. According to a recording obtained by NBC News, senior Biden campaign officials admitted that Biden missed a chance to boost his chances, but noted that voters also had concerns about former President Donald Trump. Biden's pollster Molly Murphy acknowledged the president's poor performance, stating he has been upfront about that and it is reflected in our polls. The call aimed to ease the worries of Democrats who were concerned after Biden struggled to complete his thoughts during the debate. Donors asked tough questions about Biden's debate preparation and his ability to serve another term. Campaign chair Jennifer O'Malley Dillon referenced Biden's recent physicals, highlighting a 6-page report from his doctor in February that declared him fit for duty despite chronic conditions like sleep apnea and a stiffened gait. The Biden administration proposed a new rule on Tuesday to address excessive heat in the workplace. This comes as millions in the US are under heat advisories due to high temperatures. If approved, the rule would protect about 36 million US workers from heat-related injuries, creating the first major federal safety standard for heat. Those affected include farm workers, delivery and construction workers, landscapers, and indoor workers in warehouses, factories, and kitchens. President Joe Biden planned to highlight the rule on Tuesday during a briefing on extreme weather and his remarks. Despite more awareness of the health risk from high temperatures, protections for those exposed to heat index readings over 80 degrees Fahrenheit have lagged. The proposed rule would require employers to identify heat hazards, create emergency response plans for heat illness, and train employees and supervisors on recognizing symptoms. Employers would also need to provide rest breaks, shade, water, and help new workers get used to the heat. Penalties for heat-related violations would increase, similar to other occupational safety and health administration rules, a senior White House official said. An estimated 2,300 people in the U.S. died from heat-related illnesses in 2023. Workers exposed to extreme heat are at high risk for health issues like heat stroke, according to the CDC and NOAA. Prosecutors who convicted Donald Trump in May for hush money paid to a porn star said on Tuesday they wouldn't oppose delaying his July 11 sentencing, a court filing showed. This followed a request from Trump's lawyers on Monday to set aside his conviction due to a recent U.S. Supreme Court ruling on presidential immunity. The Supreme Court ruled 6-3 that Trump couldn't be prosecuted for actions within his presidential powers but could be for unofficial acts. This likely means Trump, the Republican candidate, won't go to trial before the November 5 election on separate federal charges related to his efforts to overturn the 2020 election loss to Joe Biden. Trump has pleaded not guilty to those charges. Trump's lawyers argued that prosecutors used evidence from his official acts as precedent during his trial for covering up his lawyer Michael Cohen's $130,000 payment to adult film actress Stormy Daniels. Lawyers Todd Blunt and Emil Bove stated the trial result cannot stand and asked to submit a full brief by July 10. Prosecutors from Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg's office said this argument lacked merit but had no issue allowing Trump to fully argue his case. Trump pleaded not guilty and vowed to appeal his May 30 conviction after sentencing. The U.S. Supreme Court rejected appeals challenging an Illinois ban on assault-style rifles like AR-15s on Tuesday. The ban was supported by Democrats. The justices also avoided other gun-related cases but agreed to hear a major case on homemade ghost guns in the next term. The justices declined to hear cases arguing that the Illinois ban violates the Second Amendment, which protects the right to keep and bear arms. They also ordered lower courts to review challenges to New York's law banning guns in many sensitive places and federal laws barring gun possession by convicted felons and illegal drug users. The justices directed lower courts to reconsider these decisions following their June 21 ruling in U.S. versus Rahimi, which upheld a federal law banning domestic abusers from having guns. In April, the Supreme Court agreed to decide on a federal regulation aimed at controlling ghost guns as the Biden administration fights the rise of these untraceable weapons in crimes. This case will be heard in the next term starting in October. The court will review the administration's appeal of a lower court ruling that found the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives exceeded its authority with the 2022 rule targeting ghost gun kits. Recently, the court issued important gun rulings including upholding the Rahimi decision and rejecting a federal ban on bump stock devices on June 14. We will be back after a short break. Till then, stay with us. This world continuously revolving around various events. Every minute, every second, something is happening somewhere around the globe, and you want to get connected to that event or to that specific moment. Here we come, Millennium News Hour, to get you connected with top USA and international trending news, which includes local news, political news, world news, business news, health and science-related news, entertainment news, sports news, and so on. Millennium News 24 is transmitted and available to be watched free for OLED TVs such as Sony, Samsung, LG, Roku TV, Amazon TV, and Apple TV, and also in all European countries and Australia available with Sky Network, Worldwide Jago TV, Radiant IPTV, Worldwide Jago BD Network, and Horizon Satellite globally. Stay connected with Millennium News Hour to get the world news on your feed. Welcome back to Millennium News Hour. Now it's time for global updates. Hurricane Beryl has claimed at least 4 lives in the Caribbean this week as it brings heavy rain, life-threatening winds and flooding to the region. Forecasters warn it could remain a tropical storm as it moves towards Mexico. The National Hurricane Center said early Tuesday that Beryl, now a Category 5 storm, is in the Caribbean Sea about 235 miles southeast of the Dominican Republic. It had sustained winds of nearly 165 mph, making it the strongest July hurricane ever recorded, surpassing 2015's Hurricane Emily. By the afternoon, winds had slightly decreased to 160 mph with higher gusts. Officials reported that 3 people were killed in Grenada and 1 person in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, warning there could be more fatalities. In Grenada, 2 people died on Carriacou Island and 1 person was killed when a tree fell on a home on River Road. Grenada's Prime Minister Deacon Michel stated that many power lines are down and roads are blocked by debris. The situation is grim, he said. There is no port. There is almost complete destruction of homes and buildings on the island. An Air Europa flight bound for Uruguay made an emergency landing in Brazil on Monday after a strong turbulence injured at least 30 people. Flight UX045 was flying from Madrid to Montevideo when it hit turbulence over the Atlantic near the Brazilian coast. The plane was diverted to Natal in northeastern Brazil. During the turbulence, some passengers were thrown to the ceiling. A video from inside the plane showed a passenger being pulled out of an overhead luggage bin. The Boeing 787-9 Dreamliner, carrying over 300 passengers, was met by 15 ambulances at the runway, authorities said. Most of the injured were taken to Monsenhor Walfredo Gurgel Hospital in Natal, according to a post on X by the government of Rio Grande do Norte. Air Europa said in a post on X that another plane left Madrid on Monday afternoon to complete the journey to Uruguay. The passengers were first transported to the city of Recife because Natal is not an Air Europa destination. This incident highlights the potential dangers of turbulence during flights and the importance of in-flight safety measures. At least 19 people were killed in a clash between 2 drug gangs in Chiapas, southern Mexico, authorities said on Monday. Among the dead were 4 Guatemalans. A cargo truck was found with 16 men shot dead inside, and 3 others were found dead outside the vehicle, according to the Public Safety Ministry, which initially reported 20 deaths. The incident happened on Friday in La Concordia, near the Guatemala border, where violence has been increasing. An investigation revealed the clash was between the Sinaloa cartel, one of Mexico's most powerful, and another gang known as the Chiapas and Guatemala cartel. The minister stated that the groups were fighting for control of the border area, a key region for trafficking drugs, arms, and migrants to the United States. The non-governmental organization Inside Crime highlighted the area's importance for these illegal activities. Since 2006, when then-President Felipe Calderon launched a military offensive against drug cartels, more than 450,000 people have been murdered in Mexico due to escalating criminal violence. We will be back after a short break. Till then, stay with us. This world continuously revolving around various events. Every minute, every second, something is happening somewhere around the globe, and you want to get connected to that event or to that specific moment. Here we come, Millennium News Hour, to get you connected with top USA and international trending news, which includes local news, political news, world news, business news, health and science-related news, entertainment news, sports news, and so on. Millennium News 24 is transmitted and available to be watched free for OLED TVs such as Sony, Samsung, LG, Roku TV, Amazon TV and Apple TV, and also in all European countries and Australia available with Sky Network, Worldwide Jago TV, Radiant IPTV, Worldwide Jago BD Network and Horizon Satellite globally. Stay connected with Millennium News Hour to get the world news on your feast. Welcome back to Millennium News Hour. You are watching latest global updates. Riot police fired tear gas and clashed with stone-throwing protesters in Nairobi and across Kenya on Tuesday, marking the most widespread unrest since at least 24 protesters died in clashes a week ago. The nationwide protest showed that President William Ruto had failed to calm a spontaneous youth movement even after dropping plans for tax increases that sparked the unrest last week. Tuesday's demonstrations started with high spirits but grew more violent as the day went on. In Nairobi's downtown business district, police with helmets, shields and wooden clubs charged at the protesters. Tear gas bombs exploded in the crowds. A kiosk was set on fire in the middle of the street. Medics attended to a youth with a bloody hand on the pavement. Police loaded other youths into the back of a pickup truck. Outside the capital, hundreds of protesters marched through Mombasa, Kenya's second-largest city on the Indian Ocean coast. They carried palm fronds, blew plastic horns, and beat drums, chanting, "Ruto must go." Later, Kenya's NTV reported 2 people were shot in Mombasa and showed pictures of burning cars. Ukraine's security service revealed on Monday that it thwarted a coup attempt that could have benefited Russia while Ukrainian forces battled Russian troops in the eastern part of the country, ahead of Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban's visit to Kiev on Tuesday, where he would meet President Vladimir Zelensky. News of the coup plot surfaced. The security service of Ukraine announced via Telegram that a group planned a series of provocations in Kiev. The SBU stated the group was led by a co-founder of a public organization known for anti-Ukrainian activities since 2015, without naming them. The suspects had called for a public gathering in central Kiev on Sunday and intended to declare the removal of Ukraine's military and political leadership. Their plan included seizing the Verkhovna Rada, Ukraine's parliament. The SBU emphasized the perpetrators aimed to destabilize Ukraine socially and politically, playing into Russia's interests. However, it didn't directly accuse the Kremlin of involvement in the group or its plans. The revelation comes amid ongoing conflict in eastern Ukraine and a visit aimed at fostering ties with a key Russian ally, highlighting the delicate geopolitical situation in the region. Heavy rains in India's northeast have triggered floods and landslides, causing the death of at least 16 people over the past 2 weeks. Authorities reported that more than 300,000 people have been displaced from their homes submerged in water. In Assam, one of the hardest hit states, the Indian Army and Air Force are actively involved in rescue operations. Recently, a military helicopter rescued 13 fishermen who were stranded for 4 days on a small island in the Brahmaputra River, one of Asia's largest rivers. The Brahmaputra River, spanning 800 miles across Assam and into Bangladesh, experiences annual flooding. This year, intensified rainfall has exacerbated the river's already powerful and unpredictable flow, posing increased risks to over 2,000 island villages. Neighboring Arunachal Pradesh, bordering China, faced severe landslides that destroyed several roads. Army personnel rescued 70 students and teachers from a flooded school in Changlang district. Meanwhile, heavy flooding in Sikkim, Manipur and Meghalaya has led to road washouts and bridge collapses. Since the end of May, over 80 fatalities have been recorded across 6 northeastern states due to floods and mudslides caused by relentless monsoon rains, according to official reports. We will be back after a short break. Till then, stay with us. This world continuously revolving around various events Every minute, every second, something is happening somewhere around the globe, and you want to get connected to that event or to that specific moment. Here we come, Millennium News Hour, to get you connected with top USA and international trending news, which includes local news, political news, world news, business news, health and science-related news, entertainment news, sports news, and so on. Millennium News 24 is transmitted and available to be watched free for OLED TVs such as Sony, Samsung, LG, Roku TV, Amazon TV, and Apple TV, and also in all European countries and Australia available with Sky Network, Worldwide Jago TV, Radiant IPTV, Worldwide Jago BD Network, and Horizon Satellite globally. Stay connected with Millennium News Hour to get the world news on your feed. Welcome back to Millennium News Hour. Now it's time for business news. Today's New York stock close price is 17,957.05. The NYSE Composite is decreased by 69.45 points or 0.39%. Tokyo stock close price is 39,631.06. The Nikkei 225 index is decreased by 47.98 points or 0.12%. Shanghai stock close price is 2,994.73. The Shanghai index is decreased by 27.33 points or 0.92%. Hong Kong stock close price is 17,718.61. The Hang Seng index is decreased by 2.14 points or 0.01%. Bombay stock close price is 79,476.19. The Sensex index is increased by 443.46 points or 0.56%. Let's have a look on today's sports stories. The US team was knocked out of the Copa America with a 1-0 loss to Uruguay on Monday night, sparking calls for US soccer to replace coach Greg Berhalter before the 2026 World Cup. Uruguay scored in the 66th minute when Nicolas de la Cruz kicked a free kick into the box. Goalkeeper Matt Turner blocked a header from Ronald Araujo, who jumped over defender Tim Ream, but Matthias Oliveira scored on the rebound. There was controversy because Oliveira seemed offside on the first header, but the goal stood after a video review. 3 minutes before Uruguay's goal, the US had a chance to advance when Bolivia tied against Panama in another game. However, Panama later won 3-1, securing the second spot in Group C behind Uruguay. Berhalter, using a squad entirely from European clubs, aimed to show improvement since their round of 16 exit at the 2022 World Cup. However, after starting with a 2-0 win over Bolivia, the US suffered a disappointing 2-1 loss to Panama in this year's Copa. Critics, including former captain Clint Dempsey, questioned the team's progress, noting their failure to match their semi-final run in the 2016 Copa America. Despite stars like Christian Pulisic, Weston McKennie, and Tyler Adams, Berhalter's leadership has faced increasing criticism amid expectations for a stronger performance. Andy Murray, one of the most successful male tennis players of the last decade, has withdrawn from the singles tournament at what is likely to be his final Wimbledon, his team confirmed on Tuesday. The Scottish star, aged 37, has won the Wimbledon singles title twice and the US Open once. He has been struggling with fitness to compete at the All England club after undergoing surgery to remove a spinal cyst just over a week ago. At a warm-up tournament in London last month, Murray was visibly in pain and had difficulty moving his right leg. While he plans to participate in the men's doubles alongside his brother Jamie, Murray has decided not to play singles again on centre court. He was scheduled to face Czech player Thomas Mahak in the singles match on Tuesday. Unfortunately, despite working hard on his recovery since the operation, Andy has made the tough decision not to play singles this year, his team said in a statement reported by Sky News. They added that Murray is disappointed but committed to competing in doubles and looking forward to his final Wimbledon appearance. Wimbledon expressed regret over Murray's withdrawal from singles, wishing him well in a message on social media. Let's have a look on today's weather forecast. Before finishing today's news, let's hear out the headlines again. Biden campaign tells donors president can recover from subpar debate performance. Biden administration proposes a rule for workplaces to address excessive heat. Trump hush money prosecutors not opposed to delaying sentencing. Giuliani loses New York law license after backing Trump's false 2020 election claims. Hurricane Beryl reaches record winds of 165 mph as the Category 5 storm barrels toward Jamaica. Passenger thrown into overhead bin and dozens injured as turbulence hits flight off Brazilian coast. At least 19 dead in drug gang clash in Mexico. Tear gas, stones and flames as violence erupts in Kenya and protesters call for President's ouster. Coup attempt thwarted in Ukraine, security service says as Hungary's Orban arrives in Kiev for talks. Floods and landslides triggered by heavy rains kill at least 16 people in India. USA crash out of Copa America after contentious defeat to Uruguay. And Andy Murray pulls out of the men's singles draw at his last Wimbledon. That's all for today. Keep watching Millennium News Hour for latest news update. To stay updated, like our Facebook page, subscribe our YouTube channel and visit our websites. Our website addresses are www.millenniumnews24.com and www.millenniumtv24.com. Millennium News 24 is transmitted and available to be watched free for all at TVs such as Sony, Samsung, LG, Roku TV, Amazon TV and Apple TV, and also in all European countries and Australia available with Sky Network, Worldwide Jago TV, Radiant IPTV, Worldwide Jago BD Network, and Horizon Satellite globally. Stay connected with us for all the latest news worldwide. Thank you.